What's up, guys? I'm Youngster Skaymore, and I'm back with another Pokemon Sun and Moon news video. This is on another potential leak, and there is credence to it, so it also lines up a lot with some of the past leaks we've gotten. So if you don't want to know about any potential leaks, then do not watch this video, and I'll see you in the next one where we have some more official news. But there is a lot of evidence pointing to this perhaps being real, so if you want to know, I mean, it's not 100% confirmed, but if you want to find out, if you want to speculate on what there's a pretty good chance it could be real, then stick around. So first, anyway, this leak was first pointed out to me by someone who watches my videos. I'm not completely sure if I know how to pronounce her name. It's Splatoon Blemir. I think that Blemir, Splatoon Blemir. I think that's correct. If it's not, correct me in the comments, and I'll correct myself next video. But thank you so much for pointing this out to me. Let's get right into it here. So this is not the original leak. This is a summary of it. I have the original leak thing is right here, but this I'm just gonna read it from this because it has the information much more organized. So, as you know, or if you watched all my past videos on the leaks, this is my third. This is maybe my fourth. Well, I think it's my fourth technically, but it's the third leak that I'm covering. There was just a correction I had to make in another video, correcting the second leak, something a little mistake I made. So anyway, first there was that Chinese leak that predicted the starter evolutions, and it had that art of all the potential starter evolutions, and it predicted a bunch of other stuff, including there being no gyms and no Elite Four, except you had to like make your own Elite Four and a bunch of other crazy stuff. Then there was a new leak, and that one had credence. Oh, the first leak had credence because it predicted Salandite. It predicted a fire and poison lizard, and then the second leak predicted the bond abilities, or that's what he called them, but basically the moves that we saw in that trailer that we got like a week ago. He predicted those, and his leak lined up with the last leak and also added some other stuff, and I covered those a lot in previous videos, so if you want to go check those out. Also, in the near future, I'm probably going to be doing a video that just covers everything we know so far, just a quick recap of everything, two separate ones, one with concrete information, and one with everything we know about the leaks. So stay tuned for those. There's going to be a nice recap of everything, but that won't be for a while, so probably like sometime later, maybe a little less than a week, those videos will come up. Anyway, this new leak, this guy, there was this guy on a post like 5 days ago who posted some information, and like it didn't have anything like going for it that like it had no reason for you to believe it's true, but it did line up with some of the past leaks by saying there's no gyms, but like anyone could just say that. But he predicted those two Pokemon we saw in the last Koro. He predicted. Okay, here's what he said about their names. So I want to ask about what their English names would be, so to like confirm, see if they can confirm his leak. And he said, beware. Here, this is the original message that someone cited right here, and you can tell they cited it, like they have it right here. He said, beware of fake leaks. Mimikyu, like most Pika clones, keeps its Japanese name. And then since most Pikachu clones keep their Japanese name, he can predict that. It's not that hard. But then someone asked him, it says here, someone asked him, what we now know is beware, but we originally only knew as Kitaruguma. Someone asked what his English name was, and he said, there's a hint in my previous post, but I'm not going to say the exact name to avoid compromising my sources. A lot of people will be disappointed, though. And sure enough, the Pokemon's literal name was Beware, except it's with an E and not Bewear instead of Beware. And I just realized you guys probably can't even see what I'm pointing to. I'll zoom in a bunch. Where is it? It's right here. He said, beware of fake leaks. Mimikyu, like most Pika clones, keeps its Japanese name. And there's a hint in my previous post, so I'm not going to say the exact, yeah. So he said, beware of fake leaks, and then he said, for Kitaruguma's English name, he said, there's a hint in my previous post. And his name was Beware. And he even said a lot of people would be disappointed, which, as you guys know, if you watched my video about them, my video about the last trailer we got. So I just want to make sure everything's working. Okay. So that brings us to the rest of what that leaker said, which now has a lot of stuff going for it to be true, considering he correctly predicted the two English names of these Pokemon. So a lot of other stuff that he predicted there's a good chance of it being true, and a lot of it lines up with some of the past leaks, because he even says, well, actually, only really like the first thing lines up with past. A few things actually line up with past leaks. He says there are actually no gyms. He says, which we have already heard before. He He says there is more than one evolution for Rockruff, including the werewolf, but like he doesn't evolve once, he evolves at least twice. By the way, that first leak predicted Rockruff being a werewolf before that Pokedex entry was on the website, so it was a pretty important prediction. Or at least that's what I've heard. I guess there's really no timestamp. I don't think they proved that, so maybe that's not true. Take that as hearsay, but that's what people are saying. Yungoose's evolution is fat and hairy. Time works differently in each version. This is a thing that's a little weird, but there's something that could, like, that I'm just trying to theorize. I don't really know what that means. Like, how could time work differently? Like, it's always been an in-game clock, so it wouldn't go faster or slower. But in X and Y, you could only find Megastones, like, with, like, the sundial. Because of the sundial, you can only find Megastones when it was a certain time. So maybe since it's Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, either a sundial or a moondial gets built, so then you can either only find them in the day or only find them in the night or something like that. Or maybe they're not even Megastones. Maybe it's the Bond Stones that we have heard of, or that we've seen exist pretty much, but we don't really know if that's their name. But we haven't seen we've seen evidence of them existing, like in the logos and in the trailer. We just don't know what they would be called, but Bond Stones seems to be what they would be called according to that second leaker. Anyway, he says there are new forms of old Pokemon which are not Mega Evolutions, but more along the lines of Shellos / Wurdam. I don't think its name is Wormadam. I guess it just didn't correct. So that's a little bit sketchy that he did the name of Wormadam incorrectly. But I mean, it's kind of a forgettable Pokemon. I can understand that. So another chunk of information suggests that there are a few Pokemon that will get new forms. Because this is okay. I just completely sort of got misjambled my thoughts. So there are new forms of old Pokemon which are not Mega Evolutions, but are along the lines of Shellos and Wormadam. And here's some Pokemon that will get new forms. Butterfree, the new form would be Bug and Psychic. Or the Rattata forms would be Dark. The Nidoqueen lines forms would be Poison and Fighting. Ninetales' new form would be Fire and Fairy. The Growlithe line's new form would be Water type. The Abra line's new form would be Fighting type. And the Doduo, I think it's Doduo, I think he misspelled that. The Doduo line's new forms would be Fighting and Flying. So, this seems crazy at first, right? But it actually, I think, makes sense. First, let me tell you why. First of all, we have not seen any Mega Evolutions at all, even though it's been 5 months, which is ridiculous. How have we not seen a single Mega Evolution? Oh, also, by the way, to the first point, we haven't seen any gyms or gym leaders yet, which is usually we see them like very early. On the whole world map, there's not a single thing that we can point out as clearly being a gym, even though in X and Y, there were some, like, gyms weren't, like, just gym buildings. They actually looked like different buildings, but there's still nothing that really looks like a gym, and there's no gym logo or Pokemon League logo anywhere to be found. Anyway, we haven't seen anything about Mega Evolutions yet, and this may seem like ridiculous, but imagine if someone leaked Mega Evolutions in X and Y. People would think they're ridiculous. People would think that's much crazier than new forms. So I don't think this is crazy at all. I think this could be like a new thing for this generation. They might not even add that many Mega Evolutions. Maybe they won't add any Mega Evolutions, and they'll just add this instead. And maybe, honestly, I'm kind of curious. What if you can't transfer items from Gen 6 to Gen 7, and this gen just gets rid of Mega Evolutions? That would be pretty weird, but I mean, it is something to think of. But I don't think they would do that, because then they would just get rid of all those old designs, and it would only exist in Gen 6, which has never happened before, except for the notch-eared Pichu in like Gen 4 and Heart Gold and Soul Silver. But I don't think they would do that. But it is a possibility. But anyway, we haven't learned about any new Mega Evolutions yet, and just imagine this Bug and Psychic, Butterfree. By the way, all of these are Gen 1 Pokemon. So Gen 6 tried to touch on nostalgia a lot, and a lot of the Pokemon that got Mega Evolutions were from Gen 1, like a very disproportionate amount. And there was a lot of Gen 1 nostalgia, such as being able to catch Pidgey on the first route, and you're getting a first Generation 1 starter when you have like one badge. So they could continue the Gen 1 nostalgia train in this game, especially considering Pokemon Go's explosion. That would be even more incentive to continue the Generation 1 nostalgia, because Pokemon Go only has Gen 1 Pokemon, and it's drawing in a lot of attention from people who like have only used to play Pokemon like 15 to 20 years ago, or 15 to 18 years ago really in America, and are getting back into it now. So it would make a lot of sense, because imagine if Pokemon Go only had all Pokemon, people would be more hesitant to get into it because they wouldn't know any of them. But yeah, this would make sense, because new forms for old Pokemon would, I don't know, I just think that would make sense. Just like the same thing with Mega Evolutions all being, or not all, but a lot of them being Gen 1 Pokemon. And he says, Pokemon transferred from the Virtual Console releases will have pre-Gen 6 typing / stats. Okay, this is kind of a weird thing to say, because it's not really clear what he means by that. Some people are like, wait, so if you bring a Pokemon from Generation 1, they'll have like the weird IVs from Generation 1, but I don't think that's what it means. I think it just means that if this league is true, then like if you bring, I think he's just elaborating on this form thing, where like if you brought in a Rattata from an earlier game, it would automatically be a normal type. Like, it wouldn't just change into the new dark type form of Rattata. You know what I mean? By the way, dark type Rattata would be pretty cool. Actually, like, all of these would be really cool. Like, Fire and Fairy Ninetales, Doduo, that's fire and sorry, not fire, fighting and flying. The only thing that's kind of weird is an Aberline being fighting, and it doesn't even say fighting psychic. It's pure fighting. But we had Mega Mewtwo, which was fighting and psychic. But then also a water type Growlithe. That's even more weird. I don't know why I didn't say that was weird at first. That's crazy, but I just think that'll be really cool. I don't really see the Abra that's fighting being really cool. But anyway, the stone bracelets have nothing to do with Synchro Evolution, and okay, but then it goes on to say that Ash Greninja is in the game. So Synchronization Evolution is something that's in the anime, but it's only with Ash Greninja, I'm pretty sure. And basically it's like, oh, Greninja and Ash have such a huge bond that Greninja can go through, like, I don't think it's called Synchro Evolution. I just think I'm not sure if it's called Synchro Evolution in the anime, or if that's just, like, something people have called it, like, that have allegedly leaked it, even though they actually have no evidence going towards their leaks, that they said that Synchro Evolution will be in the game. But they say the stone bracelets have nothing to do with Synchro Evolution, which seems to be true because we saw that trailer that shows those bracelets that just makes them use powerful moves. But it says Ash Greninja is in the game, so even if, like, Synchro Evolution as a whole isn't, like, a big feature in the game, maybe the only one of those things that's in the game is Ash Greninja, which would make sense because then, because things that are in the anime like that are usually in the game. But it would make sense if it's just limited to Ash Greninja. Maybe it's just like an event where we can get Ash Greninja, where it's like, oh, I'm a girl at a Pokemon Center. I have a present for you. This is a Greninja that's dressed up as a trainer from a faraway place, or I don't know, something like that. So I think that could make sense. Or maybe you can just get, like, a prop. No, that wouldn't make sense if you could just get a prop. But, like, I don't know. I don't think it would be like an evolution. I think it's more just like a form of Greninja, you know, Ash Greninja. Anyway, the SS Anne appears in the game. That would be weird, but that would be cool, actually. Like, imagine if it's like a few years in the future and you see what happens to the SS Anne. But this also brings credit to perhaps going to Kalos after this game is over, which some people think will happen. Maybe the SS Anne comes and it takes you all the way to Kalos. That would be really cool. Who knows? Maybe it even takes you to Kanto, to Vermilion City, but probably not. And then it says, a larger, but not by that much, amount of brand new Pokemon than last gen. So, last gen had like 60-something new Pokemon, so this is larger, but not by that much. And one of the past leaks that we have that has some credit going for it said that there would be 90 new Pokemon, so this falls in line with that. If you say larger, but not by that much, I would think maybe like 75, 80, but this also applies to 90. I hope it's more closer to 90. Honestly, I would want it to be greater than 90, but 90 is a good amount of new Pokemon. Yeah, so that falls in line with that other leak. And it says, Looker, Cynthia, Blue, Zinnia, AZ, and Lance all make appearances in the game. So this would make sense that a lot of past characters are going to come back, because in recent games this has happened a lot more. Platinum had Oak, the Black and White games had Cynthia, and actually the Black and White 2 had like everyone, because they had the Pokemon World Tournament. Then I think, did they have Looker, any of the Gen 5 games? I don't know. But then Gen 6 also had Looker, and it had, I want to see Cynthia with a new model. That would be really cool. I really like Cynthia. She's my favorite champion. Anyway, Gen 6 had Looker. But, this would be a lot of new characters. This would be probably like the most new characters coming to the first game of a generation. By that I mean, like, there weren't, like, the only, I think, game that had more new returning characters from previous gens was Black and White 2, but that wasn't the first game of the generation. That was like a sequel game, and it would make sense if Az comes back, if we can go to Kalos, and same thing with Zinnia and Looker, because they, I guess Zinnia wasn't in Kalos, but she was, she's in this, like, world, like, she's in, like, the same universe that has Mega Stones, because, like, there's the other universe that doesn't have Mega Stones, which is, like, all the old games, and, like, in the Delta episode, you could, like, go to the other universe almost, but, like, that was weird. But it would make sense if, I guess, there's another plot that they continue this storyline that has to do with Mega Evolution and stuff like that, but now it's with this other stuff. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I can't imagine how Zinnia would appear in the game. But, I mean, I just feel like it could be easy for I can't talk. I just feel like it could be easy for them to tie Zinnia into this. But that would be really interesting if there's a lot of new characters. I hope that the case is that we go to Kalos, and that's where they appear, because I don't want them, like, all to appear in the main game, because I want this to be a new experience on its own, because X and Y, I feel like, relied a lot on old stuff, and it didn't have that much, like, as much new stuff to it. I want this still to be a new experience, and I think going to Kalos would make it perfect, because it could still be a whole new experience in this first region, and then we can go to Kalos and tie up a bunch of old knots, for example, the Zygarde stuff, and the Looker stuff, and everything like that. And then it says Furfru's haircut can now be changed in the new Pokemon Me, which makes perfect sense. This should be the case, I think, because they don't want to have to bring back a whole new building just for Furfru every single Pokemon game where you can change Furfru's appearance. I think it makes more sense that you can change it Pokemon Me, especially since we already saw that you can like use hair dryers and stuff. So that would make a lot more sense. It would be a lot more convenient for people who actually like have Furfru, which I don't think I've ever really used one. But anyway, some of the new forms, yeah, that does make sense. Some of the new forms for old Pokemon get new animations, and he mentions the Abra line. I think what he means by this, I mean, I would assume they're all getting new animations, right? Because it's a new generation. But I mean, I think what he means, like, oh, some of the new forms. Okay, I didn't realize okay, never mind. So yeah, so like the fighting type Abra would have a different animation than the normal type, than the psychic type Abra. So like, I guess it's not just like an Abra that's differently colored. It is a whole new animation and it looks different. And I feel like it should be all of them, because if they actually are new forms, like, are they just? Oh, but he says along the lines of Shellos/Wormadam. And, oh, actually, that's weird, because Shellos and Wormadam are just different colors. So I don't want there to just be different color old Pokemon that are different types. Like, I don't want a black Rattata that's dark type. I want it to, like, actually, like, be different and look cooler. Same with, like, I don't want Growlithe to just be exactly how it is and blue. I don't want them to actually change Growlithe's design, like, a little bit. But maybe they'll just be different colors? That would be stupid, I think. I don't think they should just be different colors. I think they should actually, like, look different. But he says some of them get new animations. So if they get new but like, if they look different, they have to get new animations. If they like actually get new models, but maybe they're not all gonna get new models. I think that'd be weird. I think they need to like look very different from their other forms. Like, I want it to be like different forms, like different forms of Shaman. That's what I was thinking. Like, they actually like look different, you know, different models. Because the Shaman flying is a different type, and it's like a whole different form. Like, that's what I was thinking of. Or like different forms of Giratina that actually like look different. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't want them to just be different colored, but that's weird. It's only some of them. I feel like it'd be all, but I don't know. I don't really know what else to gather from that. Transferring through Bank will be the only way to get some forms of old Pokemon. So I guess that means like maybe there's an island in the game where you can catch the Nidoran Pokemon. I don't want to say line because there's actually multiple lines of Nidoran, but I'll just use Growlithe as an example. Maybe you can only catch the water type Growlithe in this game, but you can bring back, like, if you bring back Growlithe from the first 6 generations, it'll be fire type, just like that Growlithe was. So this would make sense. I think it would be stupid if they just randomly changed types when you transferred it into the new game. But this does correspond with that thing that I said earlier when I said pre-Gen 6 typing / stats. I think that's what it means. Also, yeah, I guess it shows that it's not just random. Like, if this leak is to be, by the way, obviously all this stuff is if this leak is to be believed. I'm not like saying it's automatically true. Although if I had to guess, I would say that this leak is true because it did predict stuff. And like, if you predict something, you should be correct, because it's clear that he knows what he's talking about. Unless he just knows that, but he's purposely trying to mess with us. That would be the only reason that one of these 3 leaks, any of these 3 leaks that I've covered, would be false. So I feel like they most likely are true, especially since they all agree with each other. Anyway, and they all have 3 have separate credentials that prove it to be true. But anyway, so it's not just going to be like, according to this leak, you can catch any type of Growlithe here. It's 50% fire, 50% water. It's going to be like, no, this pool of water, you can only catch the water. No, I don't think it would be in pool of water. But this, like, swamp, or this beach, you can only catch water type Growlithe here. But you can catch fire type Growlithe somewhere else. Like, so that's what it would be like. And it says, this is really cool. I like this. There's a flying type bird whose appearance varies on each island, which is really cool. It's kind of like Shellos. Shellos in the west was a different color than Shellos in the east. I forget which was which. I think, I don't know which was east and which was west, but it's like that, which is really cool. I love that, actually. And this is a great idea, I think, especially if it's like fairly common. You see it on each island, but, you know, it's obviously different, different appearance on each one. It says there's a 2-stage cat Pokemon. And by the way, I don't think it means like, no, this wouldn't be different in battle, just different appearance. There's a 2-stage cat Pokemon that is normal type. Whoa, I just like had a weird burp yawn thing. There's a 2-stage cat Pokemon that is normal type when it's captured, but if you breed it, it will inherit the father's primary type as its second type when it's hatched, and the color pattern varies by type. This is crazy. This is the Arceus of cat Pokemon. This is our cat. This is our cat. This is on just like Arcanine. Ha ha ha. Oh my gosh, I'm calling it. If this does exist, I'm naming mine Arcanine. That's its name. Oh no, I'm naming the fire type one Arcanine, because it's the Arceus of these things, or should I name the mother Arcanine? Get it? Because Arceus with canine, Arcanine, ha ha ha. because Arcanine's already a Pokemon. This would be a really cool feature. Like, you can only catch normal type ones, but all different trainers actually have different type ones, and that color. That's so cool. I want this so bad. And I think that it's just gonna be like different colors. Like Arceus, it looks the same, but like that one part of it is just a different color. But I think it'd be really cool if it like had a completely different pattern for each type one. That would be epic. That would be awesome. I think this is a great idea. I don't think it's too far-fetched. I think it's really cool, and I really hope this exists. That sounds like an awesome Pokemon. And it says, according to these leaks, this game is like has so much new stuff. And I really hope they're real, because I'm really looking forward to all this new stuff. And I think it's really cool that Pokemon's changing up a lot, according to these leaks, of course. It says there's a snowman-like Pokemon mentioned in the Chinese rumor, and this leak says that. Okay, so this leak says that snowman Pokemon exists, and it's an ice ghost Pokemon, and it's a 2-stage Pokemon, so it evolves once. I think that'd be really cool. I think that makes sense. Imagine like a scary snowman that has like a diagonally face or mouth, kind of like that. I don't know if you can really imagine what I'm saying, but imagine it's got wood sticks for hands, and it's like all creepy and like claws at little children. That would be pretty crazy, actually. I don't know what I'm saying. No, with snow. Here's the in-game Pokedex entry. This Pokemon formed from snowmen that were built, but then they melted in the sun. The ghost of these Pokemon live on today as this Pokemon, or the ghost of this snowman live on today as this Pokemon. That'd be pretty cool. Naming it Frosty, Ripped Frosty. That's what I'm naming mine. So yeah, that corresponds with the last leak. So he called stuff. He said that he predicted that Beware's name would be Beware. How would you predict that? How can you just randomly guess that? I don't think you can. So I've got to think that this stuff is real, especially since a lot of it corresponds with past leaks, which also correctly predicted things. I feel like they have to be true. They've got to be, right? I don't know. But the only thing that is a little scratchy is that second leak had some stuff that they said would be in a trailer and wasn't, but they could have easily just changed it. So we don't know. I mean, we don't know for sure. Tell me in the comments if you think these leaks are real or fake. I mean, I think they're real, but I guess I don't know anything better than you do. So tell me what you think and why. So please, like, if you think it's real or fake, tell me why. Like, give me your evidence. Also, if anything new pops up, please be sure to let me know. Like Splatoon Blemere. Splatoon Blemere. I think I said that correctly. Splatoon Blemere. Yeah, I think I said that correctly. Tell me in the comments if I didn't. So yeah, if there's any new leaks or potential leaks that pop up, let me know about them, and if I think that there's good evidence, providing, what's the word? Evidence. I can't think of how to phrase this. That like makes it seem that gives them some proof, evidence, right? No, that's the first word. Evidence that gives it credentials. I don't know what other word to use. There's definitely a better one, but I can't think of it. Then I'll probably do a video on it, like I did about this one. So anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, like, comment, subscribe. New video coming soon. That's going to be like everything we know so far of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and it's not going to be like an off-the-script video like most of these news videos are. It's going to be a scripted video that I edit. That's just boom, boom, boom. Here's everything we know in a compact video, and then the part 2 will be leaks, but it'll be like a leak summary or something. I don't know. That's not going to be the name. It's going to be a flashy name, but that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.